What's up, guys? It's Brian again from LakeHickoryScuba Marina, and we are down here for another salvage job. But before we get into that, if you are new to our channel, do me a huge favor, hit this little subscribe button right here and ding that little bell as well. Well, you guys are going to be notified every time we upload new content. Now, we're down here on the beautiful, nasty lake of Lake Wylie here in North Carolina, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but right through the little trees here, there is a sunken boat, and this is one of two that we've got to get lifted up today. So we got two salvage jobs. I'm going to try to make two different videos out of this for you, but we're going to get you geared up, and I'm going to walk you through how we deal with muddy water when we do a salvage job. Now, we are partnered with SeaTow on this job and the next one as well, so you're going to see their rigging and their equipment, things like that. We just been hired to come down and do the underwater rigging part, but we're going to jump into today's video, and hopefully you guys can learn something about doing salvage work in muddy water. All right, guys, so we are in the pre-dive stage, and like any other salvage dive that we do, we want to make sure that we take our time, do proper gear checks, make sure everything is in proper working order, because once we get in this water, you're going to see just how murky it is. This is a very, very mud-filled lake here in North Carolina, and I don't think I've ever seen visibility better than just a few inches anytime I've ever dove it. But once again, we're just doing our pre-dive safety checks, making sure everything's in good working order. I'm going to check my gear, I'm going to check my buddy's gear. Everything that you learn in your open water program, we do the exact same thing when we do salvage dives. We just take our time. There's no need to rush here. So once I'm geared up, we're going to make sure that my buddy's all set up, and then we're going to make our entry. Now, the entry method that we chose to use is just a controlled seated entry here. It's the same thing you learn in your open water course, and the reason we did that, we can't see what's underneath the surface, so we don't know anything about it. Are there tree limbs? Are there hazards? Are there any bracing from the docks here? So I'm going to go ahead and just kneel down here, get into the seated position, and I'm going to do a basic controlled seated entry, the same thing you learn in your open water course. Once I'm in the water, then my dive buddy is going to get in with me, and I'm going to go ahead and go down and do an inspection while he's there. Unfortunately, you're not going to see a lot on this dive as far as what was under the water, but we're going to show you some of the surface procedures as well. Now, notice there on the dock, there was a water pump. Anytime we do jobs like this, whether we partner with SeaTow or it's just a Lake Hickory Scuba job, we try to have everything in place so that we're not having to do part of the job, get out, reset, do another part of the job, get out and reset. We try to have everything in place, ready to go. So SeaTow was very gracious. They already had their bags and riggings and everything hooked up. All we had to do was just go down and attach it to the boat. Their airlines are already attached to their bags, their water pumps. They've actually got about 4 different water pumps here for us. So everything's in place for us. All we've got to do is go down, inspect, rig the vessel, and then of course they're going to bring it up and pump. Now I am going to show you what it looks like under there. I went down, that was me that you actually saw go down there. My buddy's actually going to be draining the bag for me as I pull it down. It makes it a little bit easier on me, and it also helps that bag stay in that open position. One of the worst things that can happen, especially if you've got to go up underneath the vessel, is to have this bag wrap up around you or you get entangled in the air hose. So having my buddy there to assist me makes things a lot easier for me. Now, our attachment points for this vessel are going to be the trailer and eyes on the stern of the vessel and on the bow eye on the front of the boat as well. And all we're going to do is just hook up 2,000 bags to the stern, 2,000 bag to the front, and we're going to lift it up. Now, if you watched our video that we went out and did the sailboat recovery with Dive Talk, you'll notice that it took about 10,000 pounds to lift that sailboat, to where here we're only going to use about 6,000 pounds. There is a reason. Even though this boat weighs more, we don't have to get this boat out of the water quite as much as what we did the sailboat. So we can actually get away with a little bit less lift than what we did on that sailboat. Primarily, we just need this vessel high enough to where the gunnels are out of the water and we can immediately start pumping. Now, as my buddy descends down, you'll see I'm completely up underneath the deck that's on the stern here, and I'm trying to rig this bag into one of the trailer and eyes, and I'm actually on the port side here, which is the left side of the vessel. Once I get it rigged, then we're actually going to attach a bag to the little swim bar that's on the starboard side. And we have to do that because the only thing I actually have access to here is the stern eye on the left side of the vessel, or the port side. We cannot gain access to the other stern eye unless we start to lift up the boat so that we can get underneath it. This boat is actually buried down in the silt a little bit. So once we get this attached, we're going to hook one additional bag just to kind of pick up the boat and kind of hold it flat enough, or hold it up above the bottom so that we can attach the bag where it actually needs to be. Once all that's done, of course, then they're going to go ahead and raise it from the surface. You can see they got their pumps in place, they got their compressor going, and they are raising the bags. Now, like I said, you're going to see 3 different bags here. It did take 3 bags in the back. The one that you're not quite seeing on the screen yet is the bottom bag. The one there on top is just slightly holding that vessel up until we can get a bag on the other stern eye. You'll see it here just briefly. But once it's up just to the point where the gunnels are out of the water, they're going to go ahead and start pumping at that point. As we pump, or as SeaTow pumps the water out, this vessel will start to float on its own. Now, at the end of this video, during the closing, you're going to see this vessel floating on its own, but it's still listing to one side. And I want to kind of explain why it's doing that. When we calculate the weight of a vessel, typically we're only calculating the weight of the vessel. We're not calculating any of the components. We're not calculating anything else that's internal in it as far as furniture and stuff like that. In this particular cuddy cabin or cabin cruiser, they had a lot of furniture down in the cabin area, and once that furniture got wet, all that was added to the weight.
Alright guys, that's boat number 1, and that'll do it for this video. We've got to jump back on the boat, go over to another location, get boat number 2. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it educational. If you got any questions, please put it down in the comment section below. They still got a little bit more water to pump out of it, but the rigging's already been taken off. All the bags are taken off, boat's floating. But like I said, if you got any questions, drop me a comment down below. Really hope you enjoyed today's video. The very next one's going to be the second part to this, because we've got another boat we've got to go do an inspection on, or a survey, just to see what's there, see what attachment points we've got, and then hopefully we'll get it up as well. But guys, if you liked the video, big thumbs up, definitely share it as well. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter, like us on Facebook, pin us on Pinterest, subscribe to us here on YouTube. As always guys, we appreciate your business.